Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle and I have a very wild knockoff-ish Transformer for you. It's what I call, affectionately, the Jolly Rancher Predacons, who form Jolly Rancher Predaking. So we actually have a very colorful and clear version of Razorclaw, Rampage. In grape, of course, we have Divebomb, Tantrum in yellow, and in a kind of orange color we have Headstrong. The only one kind of close to the original colors. And we even have accessories so we can turn this baby into Jolly Rancher Predaking. So I'm going to go through each of these robot modes, beast modes, and then combined mode. And you can see if this is something you want in your collection. Be right back. So we will start out with Razorclaw. So Razorclaw here, I say it's kind of a knockoff. Some of the transformation sequences are the same, but it's not exactly the same. His weapons aren't exactly the same, though they're similar. So looking at him here, he has about the same amount of articulation in the legs as the original. The arms, however, are on ball joints, so they're a little bit different, so they can move in all kinds of directions. You cannot turn this head. And this one is the closest of all the Predacons to looking like the original. Now he comes with the gun that is supposed to go into his shoulder for the originals, but does not. But it does actually switch back and forth, and you can stick it into his hand. He also has a sword, and I'm gonna get to the weapons later, but they're pretty clever. All right, spoiler, they combine, but it's kind of neat. So he's got his sword and he's got his robot mode. And again, it looks very similar. You can see on the back, he's got his lion legs. He's got his head here. He's got the lion face on his chest. There is no articulation. You can't turn him at the waist. I've tried. So his legs are kind of backwards compared to the original. But there he is in robot mode. His face and arms are clear. It's kind of hard to see his features perfectly, but yeah, definitely looks like he should be made out of candy. All right, so that is the robot mode. Let's quickly get him into his beast mode. And again, he's not exactly the same, but the transformation is very, very, very much similar. I mean, the arms are on ball joints, but you just pop them in just very similarly to the original. Flip the head underneath, bring up the legs, turn around the lion head and put it forward. He's got the tail right here. It was down before. It kind of looked like something else. Sorry. Flip up the legs the exact same way. And you have Razorclaw. Very similar to the original. I'd say the beast mode is closer in some ways than the robot mode. Now, apparently you are supposed to be able to take the gun and put it on his back. So he's got a weapon there. Can't really do much with the sword. I don't see a way to attach it, but at least he's got his weapon on his back. And he's got a shoulder gun, so he's ready for action. So there you have it, Razorclaw. We'll put him aside over there with his sword. And we'll move on to the guy who's going to be hardest to see because he's blue. This is, of course, Rampage. Rampage, again, a lot of articulation in the arms. However, his head is a little bit different than the original. The original was very much like Razorclaw, and you would take his head and push it down the front of the chest. But this one doesn't do that. He just has kind of a face underneath the jaw, which doesn't open, so it's kind of hard to see, but that's kind of supposed to be a robot face. So in that respect, definitely not as good as the original. Same thing, his legs are kind of backward-ish. Oop, I'll move his tail up. His legs are kind of backward-ish, kind of like, again, Razorclaw, because he does not have that articulation. One thing about both these guys is you can make them taller because they have joints in the middle. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be for the transformation, giving him longer arms when he's Predaking or not. But cheesy face, but overall looks very similar, Rampage. And, you know, he does move forward. Because of his transformation, the knees bend backwards. So same thing on Razorclaw. So he's blue. Now the weapons he comes with are kind of clever. They're both kind of weird attack weapons that take what are the fists of Predaking and make them into claws on these weapons, though you can kind of also switch them around if you wanted to and turn them into a gun if you just flip off this piece. So They're interesting weapons, and they actually are part of the main weapon that Predaking uses. So it's kind of neat. You'll see it when I put it together. And yeah, he doesn't stand the best on, vinyl tablecloths. Blame me, blame me. So let's check out his beast mode. Jaguar, tiger. Tiger, is he a tiger? I was never quite sure. I think he's a tiger. Again, transformation is identical pretty much, except for the fact that the head just spins around. It doesn't come off the chest. But there he is as a tiger. Articulation about the same as the G1. You can move the back legs a little bit, but why would you? And you could take and combine those two weapons and put it on his back so he has something there. You can even take the claw hands and attach them to his shoulders so he has extra weapons. So when he is in his beast mode, mechanical tiger mode, though he doesn't have stripes, he can be better armed. And yeah, he's a blue flavor, whatever flavor that is for the Jolly Ranchers. Here we are with Divebomb in robot mode. Again, the face is right here. The head, well, you can move it forward, but the mouth does not open to reveal the head underneath, anything like that. His wings are actually pretty mobile, and they will go out to the sides. They are also detachable, just like the original, and detachable ways that you don't want them to detach, so it pops off on occasion. Not an expensive transformer, but so there he is, face there. His arms just pretty much go forward and back. You can take one of these cannon things off his wings, and the wing off too, and put it into his hand as a gun if you so choose. And you can see he's got his tail back there, which actually has a joint on here so it can move around a bit. And his transformation, again, very similar to the original. And he does actually bend at the knee. You can't do a Jean-Claude Van Damme with any of these guys, but he does have some articulation. And the head does turn. In fact, all of the heads turn except for Razorclaw's in his robot mode. But these can go again on the wings. Again, I don't like the fact that the wings pop off so easily, but they pop back on just as easily, so it's not a big deal. So there he is. Let's put him into his bird mode. Eagle mode. So transformation very similar. He's got these little claws on the bottom that come out of his legs. There's his tail that can go over. And his wings, which will spread like an eagle. But there he is flying about. You can put him forward, make him look a little bit more Egyptian. You can stand him. Again, not happy with the wing. But this thing, when I tell you the price, you're gonna freak. Okay, you might not, but I think you'd freak. So there he is in eagle mode, kind of resting on a perch. And of course he can dive bomb, because that's his name. He dive bombs. I mean, he doesn't actually have bombs or guns, but you can pretend there's bombs in the guns. And anyways, we'll put him aside. And we'll get on to Tantrum. Yes, the one who needs anger management. Now, again, his arms, they're actually very similar looking to the originals, but again, ball joints, so they go in all directions. And I think the originals were pretty posable as well. Legs, well, he's got like one leg. Even looks like he's got 1 foot right here. So, I mean, if you push down his tail, but you have to push it up in order for him to stand. So it looks like he's got 1 foot, but he's got actually 2 feet, one on each side. Again, turning the head, and part of his transformation is sliding up and down like that. And he's got these 2 scimitar weapons. His weapons are some of the better ones in this set. He can slice, he can dice, he can, cut vegetables, whatever you need him to do. So again, posability is limited. Now the original had this thing that opened up. This looks like it should open up, but it's not. So I don't want to force it, but it does look like he should have, this should flip over to show something, but he's not a headmaster, so what do we care? By the way, it came with stickers. I didn't use the stickers. And when I bought it, it did say that the colors may vary, and you can actually see on the instructions, the colors do vary because the instructions show a much different Predaking. But we'll get to that. So his weapons, we'll take them out of his hands. We'll get him into bull mode. And there he is. Bully for him. Now, the weapons have pegs on the side, so you can actually store them. So I think that's a nice, clever thing. I'm pretty sure most of the Predacons, you could take their guns and attach them somewhere in their beast mode. And if you need scaling, there's like a Combiner Wars Jazz or a Black Ironhide. He's about the same size. So yeah, these guys are smaller, but very fun flavored. So again, a cool homage in weird colors to the original. Then there's Headstrong. I think there's a song by that name, but yeah, again, there's a face inside here. It's not a separate head that like swings up or anything like that. He's got these weird weapons. Not the best one. It could be a sword or a gun. So that's some versatility for you, but arms can move in all directions. Legs again, I mean, he's got like a post. Doesn't do much. And yeah, head turns. There he is, Headstrong. We'll just take off these weapons and let's get him into his Rhino mode. There he is as a Rhino. Now these guns, it looks like you can kind of attach them on the rear there, so he has those. Now with both Tantrum and Headstrong, they do show that you can take the foot. No, this is not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but you can take the feet of Predaking, put them on their backs. And also when they're in their, I know it takes so long to transform these guys. Also when they're in their robot modes, you could give them a little extra height and some foot cannons by doing that. They didn't do that for the originals, except when they merged them, so I'm not gonna do that. It's madness, I say, madness. No, it's an interesting idea, but I don't think they need to be made that much taller. All right, moment of truth. Jolly Rancher Predaking. Now he merges pretty much the same. He's got the feet. Now unfortunately when you're putting them together, the legs don't separate at all. So when you're plugging them in, you know, it's gonna have some chafing from thigh rub. The fists connect pretty much the same way the original Predaking's fists connect. Now one thing that I've found is getting the connector peg out of Divebomb. It's a little difficult. So I have had to carefully take a knife and just carefully pry it up enough for me to get my finger under there. You can use a screwdriver or something else. You know, you don't have to be a madman like me, unless you really want to be. I have to say, merging this guy together, I was pretty impressed. First of all, there he is in all his glory. I think he actually looks pretty close to the show. The original didn't have the cannon sticking up unless you put Divebomb's guns on the wings, and those look more intimidating. It also, with this little itty bitty piece, you can plug it just like the original right into the hole on Divebomb's tail. He's got that cannon. But what's really cool is all the weapons. They, like their owners, merge. So you attach the sword, you can attach to Razorclaw's sword, you can attach these other pieces here, and then the scimitars go, and it actually forms a pretty impressive looking weapon. Ooh, might be able to cut butter with that. And because of the posts on the lower portion, you can put it right into Predaking's hand. So he's got a pretty good hunkin' sword there. An impressive bot. As far as posability, I mean, you can move the arms back and forth. Can't turn the head. The legs, because it's Razorclaw, you can kind of move them, but you're not going to do that. You're probably just going to set this up in your case of oddities if you have one of those. If you don't, start one. And just display him as something really cool. This is one of the coolest knockoff versions of a merge combiner that I've seen. Definitely reminiscent of G2 European stuff. So you can call him your G2 European Predaking. But he holds together very well. It's genius what they did with the weapons. And yes, Jolly Rancher Predaking. I definitely recommend him. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, maybe you're not thinking it, but I'm hoping you're thinking, how much does this cost and where can I get it? Well, I got this guy from AliExpress. I don't know if he's on eBay. I will take a look. But I will give you the exact price that I paid for this guy. And like I said, you might be a little surprised. This toy cost me $10.66. Yes, absolutely correct, $10.66. You heard it right. For this guy, I'd say that is worth it. Now he's being shipped from China, so you're like, oh, $40 shipping. Shipping was $12.15. So yes, $10 toy, $12 shipping,
and there was tax. So it came to like $24.32. But are you kidding me? Look at that guy. He is so cool. I mean, he's garish. He's, you know, reminiscent of candies that no one really likes to eat that much. If you're really a Jolly Rancher fan, please, you know, leave comments, but I'm more a Milky Way guy. Snickers sometimes satisfies. But yeah, this Jolly Rancher version, 24 bucks, it's a steal. I'm putting a link down in the description so you can get this guy. Again, if he's on eBay, I'll look there. Obviously, with any purchase, you want to have some type of purchase protection, but this guy came through. There are pictures on the site that show different, as I mentioned, colorations of Predaking, where these guys are slightly different colors, but the seller said it may be in slightly different colors. I don't care. This is awesome. This is a really cool toy, goes right in my collection, and I think he'd be cool in yours, but that's totally up to you. While you are making a decision if you want this candy-colored Predaking of love. Okay, maybe not of love. Predaking's never been much of a lover, but I heard he's into bestiality. Anyway, there's more videos over here. Subscribe button, click that, and the notification bell if you haven't already. Give this a big ol' like, especially if you like Jolly Ranchers, but if you just like Jolly Rancher Predaking, that can do. And comment all you want. Let me know what you think of this guy. We'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.